First 5 years down in Backbreaker Wrestling, where do you see Backbreaker Wrestling going in the next 5 years?
Bigger, better. I, you know, I've looked at the last 5 years and how we consistently outdo ourselves in one way, shape, or form or another. And the more and more we put on and the bigger it gets and the more people we bring into this family, it's so exciting. And I want, in the next 5 years, I want to see it continue to grow. I want to see it get as big as it possibly can, because this is the company.
Pretty much the same. I just see it going up from here.
I've had a lot of great matches here that I'm very proud of. But of course, like, my first singles championship will just live on as my favorite memory here. Thus far, there's a lot more to accomplish. There's a lot more for all of us to really do and see here. And I'm looking forward to, after Mega Clash 5, to see what happens the next 5 years after that.
Will I still be doing this? I would like to see more Disney vacations. Honestly, I'd like to see growth, and the Disney vacations will come with that growth. Yeah.
It's a given.
We have hit a point where we're averaging 250-ish fans every show, and we'll spike up to 400 every couple of shows. I would love to see our average at 400 and then spike up to 6. And hopefully it doesn't take 5 years to get there.
I think I'd be remiss to not talk about Cade Lee's entrance at Mega Clash after being out of the ring for however many years. Was really so special seeing somebody who hasn't been able to do it for so long hear the music hit and feel the charge of the crowd, and it was something that I will forever hold dear. It was one of my favorite moments in this company.
My number one favorite moment is the Legacy Championship match I had with Dick Davis. It meant a lot to main event with him. Even though I didn't leave with the gold, it just meant so much to me.
Pertaining to me particularly, I would be silly to not bring up the Legacy Championship. I think just in regards to everybody that's held it thus far, which is just myself and Kurt Joseph, it's meant a lot more to both of us as opposed to just being a championship that they won at their local indie fed or whatever, For both of us, it was our first championship. First singles championship. And we've both been doing this for a long time, and it's almost kind of funny, the night that I won it, which was the inaugural championship, I didn't really get a chance to really kind of get the whole treatment from the boys or the booker or anything. I went out as soon as I won, and I have my biggest fan that's there every show with his family, and went in and threw him in the ring and got him up on my shoulders and put him up there, and then all of a sudden I got this swarm of kids coming in the ring wanting to do the same thing. So I just shortly after I won the match, I just didn't have time to breathe, and if anything, I think that kind of made it a little more special rather than having the whole spiel where I have this crowning ceremony and whatever and blah blah blah. I think at the end of the match I pulled Billy Vick's pants down. I didn't realize he wasn't wearing a belt, so that was kind of fun. I was trying to pull myself up, and next thing you know, his underwear is showing.
The first one is the group of Special Olympics athletes that we have that come to all of the shows. I met one of the Special Olympics powerlifting trainers, and we ended up getting to strike up a friendship, and I was able to come to some of their practices, found out they liked wrestling, and invited them out to a show. And over the last few years, they are at every show. They are the best fans. They are so into it. They are so pure and good. And it's just, every time they walk in, they make my day better. And so that's one. And the other is when we did Under the Lights at the Cedar Lake baseball fields. And I got to see my daughter running around in the town that I graduated high school from with all of her friends and all of my friends in front of all of these people that I see on a daily basis. And I got to be like, this is mine. And these are my boys. And it wasn't even so much like a, oh, look what I did. It's more like, I'm so proud of the talent that we have at Backbreaker. And I'm so proud of the way they conduct themselves in and out of the ring. And I'm just so overwhelmingly thrilled to bring them in front of my peers and the people that I love in my real life. And so to see all of that come together in my hometown was really special.
The very first match, Jake Roan, was an awesome show. There was a ton of people in the crowd hot for him, and it was great. He was fantastic for his first time in the ring competing in front of the crowd. I think hands down, one of the best moments come from the very first show, the Top Guns versus the Uprising. It was a half-hour match where they didn't even touch each other for almost 10 minutes. The crowd was going crazy. They were loud, and just watching that just was insane. And I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling, I really am, and I honestly think the feud that Top Guns had with the upper class, Kurt Joseph and Shooter McGavin, were some of the more hard-hitting, entertaining, but I feel like that whole feud, I believe that was like one of the things that just solidified this is where tag team wrestling is, at least in Northwest Indiana, probably all of Northern Indiana, maybe even the whole entire dang state, because there's just not enough of it. There needs to be more. It's the classic stuff that a lot of us grew up on. Like, how do you not like tag team wrestling if you're a fan of professional wrestling? I don't understand how anybody does it, and you're gonna find some of the most entertaining stuff, some of the best competition, some of the best matches in tag team wrestling is gonna be here at Backbreaker.
You know, I wrestle here with a lot of friends that I've known for years. And, you know, they always say in wrestling, no one will beat the crap out of you like your best friends are, because they know, yeah, you can take it, you're fine. But getting in the ring with guys that I know and that I care about and that I have loved for so long, and just having a good time, having a good match, and even the stuff that just kind of, oh, that was a happy little accident, you know, just like remembering it and be like, oh, it's going to be a story later on. You remember the time so-and-so did this? Oh, that was great. But it's all about making memories, because at the end of the day, whenever we're done doing this, and I mean, good grief, I hope I'm not doing this by the time I'm 60, but it's just all you're gonna have left is like, you know, the video footage and like the stories. You know, the stories are always gonna be with you, and I love making them, and I love hearing them.
Awesome. All around, I think that's an impossible to pick a single moment. You know, like early on, like when Dick Davis was not a crowd favorite, and then there was that turn, you know, like I was standing out there next to the ring talking to him when that change happened. And it was like this amazing moment where like he didn't think it was going to happen. He didn't believe it could happen. And then it did. And then, you know, there's so many little things like that. That's like an example of it. But like, man, there's just been so many moments out there in front of the crowd. Like, I mean, self-serving completely. Me dropping Kurt Joseph the first time. I mean, you're talking, I hadn't been in a wrestling ring for years. And it was like this absolute just explosion, this magic that just happened. And I was told it couldn't happen by doctors. And then like a dude that like I love to hate on the show, who is like awesome in real life, to do that and make that happen together, it was just amazing. And then in the back, like all you guys that get to sit out there in chairs, you get to see some of the coolest stuff ever, right? Like on wrestling shows, you get to see, you know, guys that you never thought would be champion become champion. You got to see Dick Davis turn into the superhero good guy. You got to see Johnny Motley win championships after taking the beat down. You've literally watched Jake Roan grow up in wrestling. You've seen the upper class be the biggest jerks in the world. But I promise you, some of the stuff that you guys don't get to see back here is absolutely breathtaking. What we've done here, our locker room, is just the coolest thing in over 20 years of wrestling that I have ever been a part of. And I want all you guys in that locker room to know that I love you and I appreciate you.